I just want to say a few words from both perspectives. As a filmmaker, at one point, as a director, I became a producer from self-defense because I found that there were many producers who were good raising money and were not good about the rest of the filmmaking process, and they didn't understand it. So it's always a pleasure to hear about somebody and get to know somebody who takes the effort and the time to learn about the craft. So when there is a discussion between the film director and the producer, the director feels that this producer is behind him or behind her all the way. One of the things where I know that you have done that, while without really knowing much about you, that you went to the through the efforts to become a first assistant director, which is for me the key to learn about filmmaking, because the first AD has nothing to do with assistant. It's the motor of the set. And the first AD runs the set and is aware of time, and a good first AD always will help me to be on schedule and to get the most out of my day as a director. Furthermore, a good producer for me as a filmmaker, no, it reminds me of a jockey who is riding the horse, and the good producer knows when to let the horse ride, because sometimes it's just best to let the horse run as long as the horse is running towards the right direction. And then when the horse is a little bit veering to the side, then the good producer is there from an independent, from an outside eye, and say, wait a second, that was not the goal what we set out. And then make sure that the horse goes back and the horse keeps on riding. So it's a masterful game of letting the director do what the director needs to do, and every now and then steering the director towards the right direction. That's from the filmmaker's point of view. From the Film Academy and teacher's point of view, I made a point of teaching creative producing at the Budapest Film Academy, and the creative producing came from that very, very essential thing that for me there is no producer. It's not a producer who does not understand in depth about a screenplay, who does not know the structure of the screenplay and does not know what makes a good script. Because the producer at one point has to have the vision and has to have the passion towards a story, and have to have the vision to say, okay, this is a project I would like to spend a year, 2 years, 3 years of my life with. This is the project which I will put heart and soul into financing and put myself on the line. And furthermore, a very important part of a producer, a creative producer for me, is that a creative producer always has that independent eye. At one point, the writer finishes his work, and the writer is so close to the trees that he doesn't see the forest. A producer comes in, reads the screenplay, and makes a decision. Do I need one more writer to come in? Do I need a fresh point of view? Or is this good enough? Or do I hire the same writer to do the rewrite? Or let's bring the director in and have his or her perspective on it. These are all actually incredibly important decisions which will influence the outcome of the film. So to teach all of this, and to teach in Budapest Film Academy that for creative producers, you need to know about directing, you need to know about acting, because you need to be able to judge whether the right star is going to be the right person for this role. Because nowadays, especially in a higher budget picture, as we all know, it's star driven, but not every star is right for every role. So it's not enough that you have the big marquee name. That person also needs to fit the role, because if it's miscast, no matter how big the name is, it won't help the film. Eventually, the audience is voting with their feet. They either go into the cinema or they don't go into the cinema. So with that, I'd like to say that I really love to see that there are creative producers. We teach it at Budapest Film Academy, and as a filmmaker, I breathe it, because when I produce something, I want to make sure that I have only as much control, as much needed towards to steer the film to the right direction. Not more, not less, but that's a really, really strong game. You have to be there as a producer.